Let me go back to Akanksha, who continues to be with us, getting us more information on this very, very important story that concerns each one of us across India. Now, Akanksha, what kind of a statement is it? What do we make of what the companies are saying that you were telling us that the batch that has failed the test was not manufactured by them? What does it mean?
Well, in that alert that the drug regulator has published, it has also the reply of the companies. They've mentioned that the actual manufacturers have informed that the batch of the product, remember the drugs that have failed, has not been manufactured by them, and this is in fact a spurious drug, is the claim coming from the companies. The product is purported to be spurious. However, the same is subjected to outcome of investigation. So after that as well, the drug regulator has said that they will carry out the investigation to find out whether the claim that has been made by the companies that this is not the batch that was manufactured by them is true or not, because remember, this is related to several companies. More than 50 batches of top selling drugs have failed, and few are even manufactured by multinational drug companies as well. So they are making the claim that this particular batch is not manufactured by them. So that is something that drug regulator will look into. Remember, every month drug regulator takes random samples from all across the country, collects those samples, and tests are conducted on them. And every month such a list is prepared, and after that investigation is also carried out by the drug regulator as well.
Right. Akanksha, request you to stay on with us. I'll come back to you to get a response of what the centre is saying on this particular issue. But before that, let me introduce Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, who is joining us on the broadcast this afternoon. Good afternoon, Sanjeev Bagai. I will request you to listen to the concerns that are being raised by the people, by the viewers of Times Now, after seeing this news about the medicines that are found to be not safe or not of the appropriate standard, and we'll like you to respond to some of these concerns. We have Bharat joining us from Mumbai at this point in time. Bharat, good afternoon. Thank you for calling us here on Times Now. What is it that you will like to say?
Good afternoon. Drug regulator raises concern, but doesn't the drug regulator have any teeth? Can't drug regulator file a case?
Okay. Can't the regulator file a case? That's an important point that you have made. Bharat, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, now clearly viewers are concerned because the medicines, the drugs that have failed the quality test are, some which we use on a regular basis, Paracetamol, Pan-D, etc. How will you see the development, and how will you like to address the concerns?
Good afternoon. I think these are serious lapses which are happening. So the breakthrough as far as the protocols are concerned could be at the production level, in the factories where the drug is manufactured, in its distribution, in its stocking, and then in wholesale or in the warehouse, and indeed in the chemist. Now, the pharmaceutical companies cannot run away from the fact that these are carrying the company labels, and I think due precaution should be taken. These are serious concerns. These are occasionally can be life-threatening concerns. It's not only paracetamol or Pan-D. There are also medicines which have come into question of antibiotics, of amoxicillin, clavulanic acid, some anti-diabetics, certain anti-hypertensive drugs. Now, if it's spurious or contaminated or adulterated, these medicines can have serious harms or indeed have no effect to control the particular condition itself. So it can worsen the condition medically, and I think it's a decision which now the government must take, that serial forensic examinations at the production level, of the distribution level, and spot checks as far as audits are concerned at the chemist and the pharmacist. Right. This should not be allowed, and this is a very serious lapse which should be taken with utmost precaution and concern.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very serious lapse because, Dr. Bagai, the list, I was just looking at it for our viewers. It also includes something as basic as a calcium and vitamin D3 tablet, and then vitamin B complex, etc. Very easily available medicines are also part of this list. Dr. Bagai, you've made some important points, and may I please request you to please stay with us on the phone line. We have a few more viewers joining us on the broadcast, and I'd like you to listen to their concerns, and if you could address those as well, that would be great. We have Balaji joining us from Bengaluru. Good afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. What is it that you would like to say?
Madam, this looks like a disaster coming. But I would suggest that there is organization, Pharmaceutical Producers of India, should take it forward, and they should ensure that these kind of things do not happen. I work for a pharmaceutical company called GlaxoSmithKline, and many of the drugs, what happens, they outsource it to do it, and this is where these drug tests are failing. It is very unfortunate. And many of the medical companies should not be blamed for the carelessness of somebody else who is doing this kind of mischief in the drug industry.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Balaji. Appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. Uday Shankar is joining with us from Hyderabad, this afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Uday Shankar. Go ahead. Tell us what is it that you would like to say.
Good afternoon, ma'am. See, this drug industry, usually, every batch samples are sent to the respective state drug controls for testing. Okay. In India, what happens was...
Yes.
Hello, can I continue?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in India, the drug production at various levels in various states done, and the quality parameters are not properly tested in certain cases. And mostly in India, what happens, because of the large production of the highly approved brands, these brands circulate in various states. And there is a duplication of the same brand by the small companies. Okay, that is a very unregulated area which drug controllers have to be very cautious about this. So that means what happens is when there's a Pan-D or some other leading brand is copied by another small company with the same label, everything. It's very difficult to find out.
But then that is the point, sir. There needs to be a way to find out if something like this is happening, because here it's like, playing with the lives of so many people. We don't know what kind of a reaction it can cause in the people who are consuming it. But a valid point you've made. Uday Shankar, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. We have Soni with us from Mumbai as well. Good afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. What is it that you will like to say?
Good afternoon. I am a super senior citizen, and I have been watching all these things from a very, very sharp eye. You see, every person in India just depends on medicines like paracetamol, vitamin B complex, vitamin C, etc. for the ailments that they face on the day-to-day basis. Now, if you purchase these medicines across the counter and you consume it, he is not a doctor who knows what is right and what is wrong, but he consumes it. And the outcome of that is fatal that he is not aware of. It is for the government and the local authorities of the state and central to find out whether the medicines available in the market are really correct. They are truly produced by more authentic companies, or they are just a duplicate of the original one.
Right.
That is one step that can be taken to prevent all this.
Absolutely. Mr. Soni, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. You've made some very, very relevant points here. Let's also get in a word from Dr. Praveen, who's joining us from Ahmedabad. Good afternoon. Dr. Praveen, go ahead. Tell us what is it that you will like to say.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thanks for taking me up. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I'm 88 years old doctor. I'm practicing for almost 70 years now, medicine. Great medicines are available, substandard medicines are available, but these all samples batch-wise must be collected from the company to check. If you have these batches or samples collected from the open market, then serious people who are making these drugs, they are going to come and they are going to create trouble. And unnecessarily, the patient gets distress in the medicine and can even get distress in the doctor. The doctor has prescribed something which is not of a standard quality. So I think this has to be taken care. I'm sure the authorities must be doing correct correction and correct analysis.
Right.
But publicizing like this will also create distress amongst the patients in the drugs, and people will not take the medicine. So I'm very sorry, but such a mass-scale publicity is given to this particular news item. That is how I feel.
All right. Dr. Praveen, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. We have Aditya joining us from Kolkata this afternoon. Good afternoon, Aditya. What is it that you will like to say?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. Actually, my concern is that majority of the medicines shown here are top-selling drugs. For example, let's say if someone is suffering from a CKD, that is chronic kidney disease, which is very common nowadays. And I know such patients who are taking like Calvum 625 or let's say Chalcal 500 as prescribed by the doctor, right? So now in this type of scenario, if something happens to a patient's life, then who will be accountable for it?
Right. Thank you very much, Aditya. Appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your concern. I'd like to thank Dr. Sanjeev Bagai as well for joining us on the broadcast with his perspective. Thank you, Akanksha, for your inputs on this story. And viewers, this is going to be our top focus ahead as well on Times Now. We'll get answers from the centre as well, as now the report is out. What next? What is going to happen next from the centre side to ensure this does not happen again?